Hello, welcome to Berardi and Coke. I'm joined by Jay, grief-stricken Jay, over on this side here. How's it going, man? You look a bit worse for it there.
I don't even know what to say. I've got nothing. There's nothing in the tank, Karl. Nothing left.
Nothing at all.
They've crushed my positivity.
Right, okay, that's not great. But I'm sure there's plenty similar to yourself in the comments. So I don't know. We'll see what comes up. Woeful display, but I don't know if you want to maybe just do the old intro there, and should we maybe get on with it,
Hi, this is Don Matteo, and you are listening to the Orta Know Better podcast. Let's do this.
You look like fucking Brolin, you're a Leeds eating bastard.
Look like some sort of fucking weird floating head. No.
You utensil player a bit, innit?
I mean, I feel a bit right, dickhead.
Nothing spectacular, really.
Again, Jay, your ending there, nothing spectacular, really. It's becoming a theme since that new intro was done, isn't it?
I disagree, Karl, because I think today was spectacularly bad.
Yeah, but you kind of want it to be, spectacular in the other way, don't you? So
It's not happening anytime soon.
I don't think so. No, it's a little bit all over the place. I think there's a lot of areas of the club that are disjointed. I think there's a lot of people who need to answer some seriously hard questions. Obviously, get your comments in. We'll try and read out as many as we can. There's going to be loads, I'd imagine, because let's be honest, the grief casts are generally jam-packed anyway. So let's kick it off, Jay. I was writing notes for the first half and a bit of the second, and then I just ended with that. And that was in the 62nd minute. I was just like, fuck it.
For the audio listeners, that's Karl holding up a sheet of notes that's underlined and says, fuck taking any more notes. So, I think that says it all, mate. I think that says it all. I'm just off the bat. I'm just going to pull a couple of comments because they can
go for it, man.
Than I can.
Go for it.
Thomas Klima says disgrace.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Rumsey, goodbye Premier League, hello Championship.
Ugh.
Renee says thanks for doing the stream, guys. Need some group therapy. I think that's the only reason we're here ourselves.
Yeah.
To be completely honest with you.
So you're welcome, Renee.
And we got Adam Ward saying, feel sorry for all those that travelled all the way down there for that shower. Can totally empathise with that one because we've been those people, Karl. We've gone to watch shite like this, spent a fuck ton of money. Your whole weekend revolves around it. You go there excited, you put your all into it, and you get very little back off these players and this manager for me.
At the moment, it's looking very bleak, and I'm generally kind of more an optimist than I am kind of a doomsdayer. But it's looking bleak. I won't say it's dead and buried yet because let's be honest, when you look at the table after the weekend, bar Leicester and Everton tomorrow, I think we're still in 16th.
Well,
and
game's
let's be
terrible
honest,
for us.
It is. It's absolutely
no real
shocking.
Good result for us.
No, well, there is a draw would be great, but that puts us down.
Fall.
It'll only put us to 17th, but it'll knock Forest back into the relegation zone.
It's definitely a preferred result. It's just what I mean is there's nothing where we don't come out of it worse,
Well, the worst that can happen to us there now is that we drop to 17th, and that's it. And that's with a Leicester win or an Everton win,
Yeah, absolutely.
So look, we were in kind of the same predicament as last year. So at the way it turned out for us last year, we didn't see that coming either. We all thought we were fucked. Yeah. But look, we'll get on to that. That can be discussed more in depth, kind of throughout this pod potentially, and more on the main pod on Tuesday. I just want to talk maybe just about the first, 17 minutes. we looked quite capable of potentially getting a good result down there. They were lucky that handball was a yard or so outside the box, which, you know, looking at the replay, it was definitely a handball outside the box. So free kick was the right decision. No, not at all. But I thought we were very much on the front foot there, and it seems to be a common theme at the moment that when we are on the front foot for the opening 20 minutes, we tend to be on the back foot then directly after any team generally has an attack or anything like that against us. And I don't know what that boils down to. Like it happened today in spades. Like we were very much on top for large portions of, you know, different parts of the game, you know. They started to sit back even when they got their first goal. And then when they got their second and we got our only goal, you could see that they were nervous because of what happened at Ellen Road. But we didn't seem to capitalize on that, and that seems to be our downfall at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely is. And it's just the same every week, Karl. It's like we always seem to start games well. Like we go for the throat from the off, usually.
Yeah.
And it seems to then it's like it gets either knocked out of us or we just sort of give up on that philosophy. It's like we go at them and then we just fade away. But usually because we'll be all on the side and then out of nothing, when they've had nothing, not a sniff, we'll just concede an easy chance and they'll score it, and that's it.
Yeah,
there's no backbone to it. There's no rigidity. It just doesn't stand up to any pressure. Our defense, you can't have confidence as an attacking player, knowing that if you lose that ball, we're probably going to end up conceding, and focus will be on you then because you lost the ball, and that is how it goes. How are you supposed to be confident and take chances like Somerville and Nonto and Harrison? How are you supposed to take risks and try and put your neck on the line when you know absolutely that if there's a break, we'll probably concede a goal? And the goalkeeper's not inspiring anybody behind him at the moment, and that were horrendous today from him. And really, it's kind of hurt, if that makes sense, to see him getting all the criticism he has this season, because he's been a good player for us. He's won us points at times. You know, there's times he's been an absolute hero, but his confidence is on the floor. I don't think he should keep being put out there. I don't think that Robles is a better keeper than Meslier necessarily, but I don't think he's got the baggage that Mellier's got right now, and I don't think keeping him in the firing line is helping him as a player long term.
Yeah, I think you're right in terms of Meslier. Like I've been very kind of supportive of him and anything that he's kind of done, you know. But there was that one today where he flapped at it. He had time to catch it. He had time to punch it. You know, there was so many other things he could have done there apart from slap it with the palms of his hands, which everyone, even people who aren't goalkeepers, know that's not how you do it. Like, maybe if, you know, Robles he has, like you said, he hasn't got the baggage that Meslier has, and then maybe just like I think like you said, you need to take him out the fire line. It needs to be someone with a bit more fucking guile about them now at the moment, like, because quite frankly,
he does.
Meslier is kind of broken at the moment. He needs a bit of time out and away from the spotlight.
Yeah.
If
Robles came in, it's like coming in as a number 2 with nothing to lose. He don't have the pressure on him that Mellier's got.
This is the thing as well, he's anytime he's been on, I've thought he's done all right. You know what I mean? It's not been a bad display by him, you know, at all, really. Like when you think about it, but yeah, I think the whole Meslier thing needs to be kind of looked at. If we go down, which I'm still kind of in the mindset that there's 2 worse teams than us. Believe it or not,
so we'll be 3rd worst.
Yeah. But that's not to say that. No, I mean, like, I think Southampton are down now. Like, so there's 2 worse teams than us. But I think throughout that game, you could see that the confidence was zipped out of the players in parts. Like just going back to that whole 20-minute stint where, you know, we're very much on top, and then they get that Shanky Owl goal, and then it's like the mentality at the moment is where we feel that we can go at teams really well for, you know, an initial period of time, and if we don't capitalize on that, then the heads drop.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that mentality kind of that runs rife in a team if that's the case, and if that's what it is, because it kind of looks like it. Like, because if we don't score, we don't look like being the dominant team after the 20-25 minute mark sometimes at all. Like, so it's a difficult one to go off at the minute. Like, so
genuinely,
I don't know,
that Leicester game, we missed an opportunity there. We really did.
Yeah, the Bamford miss.
That miss from Bamford, but also Grazia's reluctance to change to being on the front foot and sitting back.
Yeah.
Those two things could have cost us dearly this season now. They really could.
I think so, yeah. But look, we can only go off what we've seen today as well. Like, so Cooper going off was a big loss in relation to the organisation at the back and the leadership. You know, there was 2 or 3 big tackles that he put in where he blocked goals, but then I don't know how it managed it, like, but it just ended up leading to goals as well.
Yeah.
But they were, you know, but the defence didn't come out quick enough for the first goal, where he just curled it round maybe 3 or 4 players. They just set it up. They set it up for him to put it in that corner.
It was very like one of those goals we conceded against Fulham in the cup.
Yeah, pretty similar. Like,
same players, same errors. It's just different managers don't seem to be able to get through to them how to defend.
Yeah.
Do we have like one guy who's like our defensive coach that's been there throughout all managers? Because I just don't know how to explain how nothing changes regardless. It's like we have this problem that can't be got rid of. No matter who you bring in, personnel, players or management, the coaches, it's like we have this issue. It's like we can't beat the first man at a corner no matter who the coach is. I mean, granted, we did beat the first man today, but, you know, it's like a general thing we see a lot from Leeds. And I don't understand why we seem to keep hold of problems instead of ironing them out or coaching them out. I don't get it. I don't understand that.
Well, you'd have to look at recruitment for that, really, wouldn't you? You know, you're kind of looking at Christensen now at the moment. I think he's a capable Championship defender. I don't think he's a capable Premier League defender.
I agree. We got a comment from Idle Matt actually agreeing with me there. So can we talk about how Christensen has somehow convinced someone at least that he is a football player? It's not just bad; he's comically bad.
Like, he doesn't offer anything. All he offers is a relief kind of pass, and then he'll either go backwards or just put it long down the line. He doesn't really offer anything, in my opinion, that is adding to the team.
Yeah.
Regardless of tactics, you need to look at his contribution outside of just putting it down the line. And apart from that, there's not an awful lot. Like, he tends to get far, far too tight in areas that he shouldn't, and it's like he doesn't know how to read the game correctly. When he's in, say, defending around our 18-yard box, he'll still get as tight as he normally does. But how are you meant to, in today's game, players feel you're getting that tight around the box, like Maddison the last night as well. He was the same. As soon as you go near him, anywhere around the box, he's gone down. Like, and if you're playing professional football and you can't read that part of the game to be able to understand that, look, I know I need to be close. I can still be a foot and a half away from him without giving away a free kick. And if he does fall over, I'm a foot and a half away from him. It's not my problem. Yeah. You know, it's just a lot about reading what is going on around him. And I don't think he seems to do that very well, to be fair.
Yeah, and it's like, it came from, let's be honest, a crappy league. And players can shine in those leagues. You could be able to read the game fantastically when it's played at a certain pace, but when it goes beyond that, that might exceed your mental threshold as a player, regardless of what physical attributes you've got. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't mean you can't play football. It doesn't mean you're not good. You're just not at that level. And sometimes you just have to hold your hands up to that. And the management and board have to say that transfer didn't work. I mean, they're going to have to say that a fucking lot this season, but there's no point persisting, flogging a dead horse. I mean, look what he's done to our team this season. We've had Aronson play game after game, and I'm truly convinced Nonto only got on today because of the clamour for him from the fans.
I think so as well.
You can't not be getting results and stick to your guns. It's hard to say I'm right, you're wrong when you're not getting anything on the pitch. I don't think that the manager had a choice today. I think he knew that the away end would have gone berserk if Nonto wasn't playing.
I think that's very much the case. He's kind of bowed under pressure there to play Nonto. But like, going off his assist today, and I thought in the second half, when he started to drift inside more, he was far more effective when he was drifting inside. I said it. I don't know what pod I said it on recently, but like just to play him in that number 10 role where he's able to float around. Like you've seen Aronson in that role, but he just doesn't have that last bit of quality that Nanto has.
Yeah,
you could see it today. He was starting to orchestrate things from the middle of the park in that 10 role, and it was like he was getting the ball out wide, and then he was following it out to try and build on the play out there. And then when it'd break down, he took it on and he'd bring it back inside and try and switch it to the other wing and then try and build on it from there.
Yeah,
but like to let him do that for only 10 or 12 minutes of any game is ridiculous when you've got a player who's capable enough of doing that.
It's criminal. He's an Italian international. He's more than proven his credentials playing for Leeds.
Yeah.
He's shown what he can do. He's the only probably truly game-changing player we've got. There are other players that can come on and, they can influence the game. But Nanto, for me, is a player that can lift the entire team and turn a game around because he's just that good and he gets everyone behind him.
Yeah.
He's exciting. You want to see him on the ball. You want to see him attacking. You just want to see him involved.
It's difficult for Gracia to justify not starting him. That's the other thing, because like Jack had a poor spell there for a while, and then he kind of came back with a couple of good performances, but we were on the wrong end of results. Yeah. And that's kind of the thing. It's like, right, okay, he's had a good performance there, but he's had more negative ones. Switch it up a bit, like, you know what I mean? He's a big boy. You can take the I'm starting him over you thing. It's not like he's going to kick up a strop or anything.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
We have Matt, our Aussie mate, there in the old studio lounge. Do you want to bring him in there and we'll see what Matt's got to say?
Aye, go on. Let's invite someone else into the misery.
Yeah.
Hi guys.
Good day, Matt.
Hiya, Matt. How's it going, man?
The goals all could have been preventable.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
The first goal, McKennie should have been quicker to the man that shot. The second one, Melia can catch that. I'm pretty sure any keeper can catch that, even like a League 2 keeper.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, so easy. The third goal, Koch stuck his leg out, and he should have done better with that.
Mm.
And then the fourth goal, of course, straight down the middle.
Koch were crap today for me.
Yeah.
And I normally defend him on here. One of them when he tried to usher the ball out for a goal kick and he just got mugged off it, and then they attacked and we were under pressure for another minute. If they'd have scored then, I'd have gone absolutely ballistic. I mean, it was bad enough in my living room at that point, but fuck me.
Well, we might not beat Spurs on the last day now.
Well,
boy, what's the score in that game?
3-3. Rich Allison just scored.
Bollocks.
Fucking hell, he's finally turned up.
Right, okay. That goal. There goes my tweet that I put out earlier on. Then fun times. Oh no, 4-3 Liverpool. That'll do.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah, Diego Jota.
Didn't some of their fans walk out again at 2-0 after 6 minutes?
Yep.
Probably, yeah.
Do you remember that Middlesbrough fan that got on the pitch and he tore up his season ticket and threw it at Steve McLaren in the dugout? That was amazing.
Yeah.
No chance of that with Google Wallet now. You'd have to throw your phone at him.
Yeah. I don't think anyone can afford to do that nowadays.
Karl, I'm just going to rifle a few comments before we move on. Just to
do, please, man.
Backing up. So Renee says, also, if Rads really feels bad, then he should step up and refund every Leeds fan that bought a ticket to that horrendous game. The fans deserve better.
Yeah.
Do we agree with that?
Yep.
Yeah, I think the fans do deserve better. That's a long old trek.
Pony up. It is. It's awful. And it's an awful place to go and have to get back from. And to drive home after watching that, you'd end up wanting to drive into Central Barrier on purpose.
Oh, Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
I mean?
Well,
anyway, Jay.
Bill O says, bunch of meat bastards, no grit or determination. Coleslaw says, Forest putting up a fight, whereas we are collapsing. Nigel Chandler, other teams at the bottom have winnable games compared to us, but we're not getting another point this season. Very possible. Thomas Klima says, Forshaw was our best midfielder today, for fuck's sake. Just going to touch on that one, guys. He's got to start next game, hasn't he, surely?
100% for me.
And I'm not really a massive advocate of Forshaw at this point. I think he's probably past it, but I'll tell you what, he looked better than anybody else did in the middle of that field today. So,
man, Forshaw,
just hold your hands up and say he did well. Get him in.
I know we're getting a bit of ahead of ourselves because we're not even on the second half yet. Like, but Forshaw came on there and started to get his foot on the ball, calm things down, look at positive passes rather than going negative the whole time. That's what I found about Christensen. It was always backwards, if not down the line. There was no progressive, positively progressive passes.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of a hit and hope down the line, like, and I thought Forshaw, when he came on, look, he's not the answer by far and away, definitely not the answer, like, but I think he would put more fight into that midfield in a more controlled manner than what we've seen with McKinney at the moment. I don't think McKinney's
mental is it though? Sorry, go on.
No, go on, man. Yeah.
How mental is it when you're having to bring a guy on that you signed from Middlesbrough for $2.5 million to replace the guy from Juventus and the guy from Bayern Munich because they're both fucking useless?
Well, this is the way it goes, isn't it? You just have to. You can't understand that kind of shit. Like, but
Victor fucking Orta, everyone, give him a round of applause. The absolute bastard. Fuck off, Victor.
Yeah. So look, just going back to the game again. Anyway, to get a bit of sidetrack there. In regards, we just touched on the midfield there. Rocca and McKennie. Do you think is that experiment completely over now? We need to just change it up, like we were saying there.
Yes.
I'll go to you, Matt.
Yeah, I think Rocker and Forshaw. Because at least Rocker can play a pass. McKennie just, I don't know. There was sometimes in the game where I saw him and they would have the ball and he would just be standing still, not even moving.
Yeah. Yeah, he was fairly static today, now, let's be honest. Look, you can't, there was a couple of good touches from him, but then he nearly lost it again in midfield. With trying to do a fancy turn, and then there was someone on top of him straight away, and it was like, just do the simple thing and do it quickly, can't be doing that kind of thing at all. We don't have the players around him to be able to compensate for him fucking up that badly, and with Forshaw in there, I think you do have a bit more, I don't want to say it but sturdiness, and a bit more of a calm head. Like, you could see it as soon as he got on the ball. He was just taking it on, turning, having a scan, turning again, playing a pass. And we don't get that from McKennie. It seems to be just, I don't know, I'm not slating the guy at all. I just think he's not good enough to merit the money that we're apparently going to pay for him if we stay up. And I think there's money that could be spent elsewhere on a better player.
I could genuinely see that transfer getting cancelled if we stay up, because I don't think the player wants to come long term anyway.
I don't think so, man. He's not worth the money either.
Either that or we'll sign him and he'll get loaned straight out.
Hardly. Spend 30 million on someone like that and then loan them out straight away.
Why not? We've spent 35 million on a kid that sits on bench and doesn't play any games. We spent 40 million on Jean-Kevin Augustin. I mean, do you really think it's that hard to believe, Karl?
No, it's not that hard to believe. I just choose not to believe that the club would be that fucking stupid. But then again, they did sack the elsewhere.
You know who our board are.
Yeah.
The three fucking amigos.
On that, why did we even sign Rutter? Why didn't we just sign a centre back for the same price?
Nobody knows, Matt. Nobody knows. I don't think even Rads knows. I think Victor Orta did that thing you do when you're on Football Manager and you see a player and you're like, fuck. Oh,
He's
shit.
got potential.
Oh, yeah. I don't need him. There's nowhere in my team for him, but I've got to have him. And he'll have gone running to Rads and he'll have been like, Andrea, I've seen a prospect, Andrea. We've got to get him. Fuck off.
Yeah. Well, it's a 35 million prospect that go back to your point there, Matt. We could have bought a centre back for that. We could have probably bought Danny Ings and a centre back for that. and already he's scored 7 or 8 goals.
I don't like him, Karl.
No.
We could have signed Connor Cody.
No. Why would we do that?
Experienced Premier League defender. I don't like him.
But
in our position, I'd have took him. If you were in the position we're in now, and it would have been for instance, him or Cooper in the team today, I'd have took him.
But look, you're looking at a player who's in a team that are worse off than us. Why would you take him?
Listen, there are other defenders who are better. It's just the first name that came out of my head that I remember moved. You know what I mean? But the point I'm making is there are players out there we could have signed. You know?
Yeah.
And I would look pretty much any of them.
Yeah. Look, we'll try and not get sidetracked, and we'll chat about the game and maybe leave some stuff for the main pod. But where at what point do you think it went wrong today? Obviously, the first goal going in was catastrophic, but it wasn't unmanageable from going a goal behind. Do you think the heads dropped to the point where they were like, "Oh fuck, that's it now"? Yeah.
At the first goal, I don't think so. We'd been the better team. The fans were still singing as they do. We had no reason to believe that we weren't going to get back in that game. It were annoying. It were a blip. We were on top. We were better than them. The second goal, it's just not the stuffing out of you entirely. The fact it came so quickly after the first, before you even really had a chance to get back in the game, and for the keeper to fuck up again, and that just smash your morale. Do you know what I mean? You just like, oh God, here we go. He's having one of them days again. I think the second goal killed us. There were fight. We obviously, tried to get into it, but there wasn't enough fight, and it fizzled out. And again, the manager didn't make changes at the right times for me, and he didn't make the right moves.
With that in mind, Jay, this comment here. Oh no, hold on. This one from Danny. Karl, it went wrong with the starting lineup. Whereabouts do you think he may be on about? Where do you think it went wrong?
Well, Rasmus at left back. That's bizarre.
Yeah.
Nobody's covered themselves in glory recently, but I don't understand what Firpo's done wrong to get replaced by Rasmus. I would much rather see Junior Firpo start there than somebody that can't play in any position by the sounds of it. At least Firpo can do the job. He might not always be perfect, but he's much better than fucking Rasmus. I don't want to see Rasmus in a Leeds shirt ever again.
But the thing is, you say that, but Rasmus was playing on the right side. He wasn't playing on the left. It was Cooper playing on the left. So I
can't even remember. My brain is so scrambled. I just remember sitting there pissed off for most of it, Karl.
Well, in my opinion, we should have been playing Ayling at that right back position, and then potentially had someone in front of him. Don't ask me who, because Christ knows. We weren't exactly flush with options off the bench, but we could have had Rodrigo on there from the start, and we could have had Willie playing just in front of Ayling, and then have Harrison in front of him, or something like that along them lines. But to have Rasmus playing right back in that back three was just suicide for me. Absolute suicide. And it's a shame that we as fans who can't have an effect on anything to do with the team can see it, but then a manager who's meant to be intelligent enough to be able to spot these things doesn't see that's the wrong kind of player to be having in a position like that. And maybe that is down to kind of part of the reason he probably won't be here next year, regardless of what division we're in.
He won't.
I think it's the same kind of.
He might not be here tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it's the same scenarios as Jesse Marsh last year. Kept us up. Should have been told off you pop. No messing about. None of this sentimental crack. You kept us up. Fair play. I think Jesse Marsh, although we're of the agreement that he should have gone before Christmas or before the World Cup, he definitely shouldn't have been given the opportunity up until that point either. He got far too long, and unfortunately, it's having that effect on the team now because he was heavily supported in January and the summer with players that were meant to fit in that fucking mental system. And it's just difficult now because you have to feel sorry for Gracia in some ways,
Oh, I do totally agree, but he's still going to get the brunt of my fucking anger when he puts out tactics like that and can't change a game.
Of course,
the job's too big for him, and that's not necessarily his fault, but we're suffering for it. So I'm not mad at him.
But when you're looking at a manager that they brought in who was like 5th, 6th, 7th choice out of all the managers that they wanted, you can understand that he's kind of like, right, okay, well, they just barely wanted me here, like. So I'll do exactly what I can do, and if it's not good enough, then I've not lost out on anything, which is probably the wrong kind of attitude to get on with. Like, but we just need to sort out the whole squad from back to front. It needs a total refresh in the summer. Players need to go.
We do.
We need to get in a midfielder who can play in a 10. And he's not going to be someone that's going to be just in there every now and again. It's a number 10.
Yeah. We need another Liam just saying 49ers will take over a team that need a massive boost and a restart. Just what you're saying now, Karl.
Yeah, do you just to add to that point, do you think will they invest heavily?
I think they probably will, because they don't want to be in charge of a championship club.
Yeah.
Basically, but whether they're going to have the right people in charge, if you've got Victor Orta spending that money, then you're fucked, aren't you? If they get somebody who knows what they're doing in, then who knows? Sky's the limit.
Yeah, do you see them going for loads more Americans, Matty? Like, because there's a few that have kind of popped up recently. There's that guy, or he might actually even be Argentinian, but he could play for America. That guy in the MLS that we were after again during the summer, and then there's that other is it a right back that we were looking at, some American right back as well. Do you think will the influx be even more prominent when the 49ers take over, or do you think are they going to be maybe more sensible about it, seeing how it's not really worked?
I think they'll be more sensible. I hope so. I mean, I don't care where they're from as long as they're good.
Yeah.
But, like, a player from the MLS, you don't expect to light it up in the Premier League.
Is it Dest you're on about, Karl?
The right back. Yeah.
We have been linked to him a couple of times. Yeah. Sorry, go on, Matt.
I just said it.
All right,
I didn't know if you'd finished. No, I didn't know if I'd cut you off, because I do that sometimes, if you don't know.
So look, this second half, it did start to go very, very wrong. I thought early doors again did okay. We came out of the blocks a little slow, but then we kind of got into a bit of a groove, and we did look like we could potentially get another goal back and salvage a point, perhaps. But it then quickly went wrong. I've wrote it down here. On 58 minutes, Billing had a bicycle kick inside our 6-yard box. I'm not going to lie, my arse nearly fell out.
Yes.
And that seemed to be the kind of catalyst then for us to lose our goddamn minds. Like Willie, and then we went up up again. 2 minutes later, Willie misses the header in exactly the same spot as Bamford missed a goal on Tuesday night against Leicester. 2 minutes later, they go up and score their third. You know what I mean?
And we had that double save as well from their keeper, Neto. When he saved 2 different attempts in one passage of play.
Save Cox's header from the corner, and then Willie's follow up. If Willie hadn't slipped, he might have got better connection, but it's all ifs and buts.
And the rocket shot.
And the rocket shot as well, yeah, the free kick as well. We had some good opportunities there. We just don't have anyone clinical enough at the moment to finish them off.
We just came up against a keeper that was switched on, and they came up against one that's absolutely rock bottom at the minute.
But the thing is as well, Jay, you got to look at it like it's like we looked at the bleeding, who was it? Was it Forest, or was it Forest at home, where Johnson had the game of his life? He kept us out for ages and ages and ages, and he made save. In that first half, we peppered his goal. He made some great save. There was one where he was going one way and he had to come back on himself to try and catch it on the line. And as soon as Neto made them 2 saves today, you kind of got that same kind of doom and gloom where it was like, this guy's going to have like the game of his career here now, and he's going to be absolutely blinding for the rest of it. And you're just like, it's easy to see how that kind of mentality can slip into a player's head, because it's easy for the likes of us to let that mentality slip into our head. Do you know what I mean? So that, look, we bash them a bit and we talk trash about them here and there, but at the end of the day, they're human as well. But they're getting enough money each week to be able to kind of go, right, maybe I need to go and see head shrink and get me noggin sorted out and take that onto the pitch.
Something, Karl. We need something. At this rate, I'm going to be calling for bringing in Eileen Drury.
Jesus. Right, okay, let's not get down that road. There's a comment there from...
I don't know what I'm talking about there, does it?
No. We'll send you an inbox of what he's on about later, man. There's a comment there that just started from Michael Brown. Do you want to give it an all readage there?
Aye. Yeah, Michael Brown said, I wouldn't gut the team if Leeds are relegated, but I would bring in hungry, young, quick, 2-footed technical players. Nonsense defenders. I think he means no-nonsense defenders. The type who will relish putting their heads to crosses in box. What do you reckon of that, then? Don't think he's wrong.
No.
I don't think he's wrong, Matt. What do you think?
I don't think he's wrong, but it's like, if we can get those players, you don't, like, in the Championship, I mean...
Yeah. That it also kind of makes the point that he says we don't need to gut the team. We might not have a choice with the wage that some of these players are on, but to sell, you know, like we've put players there on long-term contracts. I can only imagine that's because the club think that in the eventuality that we may get relegated, that at least we can get full price for these players. You know what I mean? That's the club putting their financial interests ahead of what's meant to be going on the pitch, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, though, the players, surely from a club in our position, must have relegation clauses on the wages. But then I thought, yeah, but Rad said this were impossible. So what's the betting that half the team don't have relegation clauses? We're going to go down and we're going to go back into administration. Then the 49ers are going to buy us for £1.
Look, we're not going to go into administration. Look, just get your head out of the gutter there, will you?
I've been reading Jason's Twitter today. He says that we are.
No, look, we've got enough in the players we have to recoup a large sum of money if we need to sell a few players.
Yeah, I know.
We will get parachute payments. We will get this and that. But look, we're not down yet, so that's irrelevant. We still might get whatever you get for finishing 17th in the Premier League. So, look, just a little bit more about the game. We've seen how Bamford played today, and it wasn't bad and he wasn't great, but we've seen how our play differed when he went off in relation. We were going for it more. Do you think is that something that we should probably do in the last few games, where we put Rodrigo on and we make it a bit more hectic and try and get the ball forward a bit more into the feet of Rodrigo to play off to the last man? Matt, do you think is that something we should look into?
I don't know. I thought we should have had both on the pitch, to be honest. I thought like we're 3-1 down, we need goals, and you take off the goal scorer. Doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, I get that.
Fair, though, he did fuck all apart from the goal. He was terrible. Other than that, for me today, he's not the answer.
I know he's not the answer. I don't think he got his fair share of free kicks for different scenarios where he was very much in control of the ball. I thought the ref had a poor game in spells today.
Oh yeah,
where he was giving them soft free kicks, but then looking at us going, no, get up. And then there was an instant where there was a foul on Rocca. And it had fallen to McKennie, and as soon as McKennie looked to turn and go down our right in attack, he blew for a free kick. So you're looking at what the ref is doing as well, and the effect that's going to have on the players. But I think with that in mind, I think it's just we need to sort everything out from back to front. And I don't know what kind of striker we could possibly attract in the Championship, but we'd be able to attract something a little bit better than what we currently have, and that's no slight on the two lads. Rodrigo's got 11 goals in the Premier League this year, but we just, it's the prospect of a better manager. Like, would we go back in for that? Is it the Real Sociedad? No, it's not. It's Rayo Vallecano.
Yeah,
is it
Areola?
Areola, yeah.
I don't
know.
It
gives us better options to go back in for managers like that if we stay up. But
if we stay up, yeah.
If we stay up,
if we go down,
yeah.
I'm really worried about what we'll get saddled with, and I'm worried it'll be Javi Gracia.
I don't think we will.
He might.
Yeah,
he might be.
There was a few comments there and a few tweets that I saw as well where they were saying there's an emergency board meeting potentially sacking Javi Gracia. Now, I don't know how true that is. There was also potential chat between a Leeds kind of content creator and Radziani. Did you see that, Jay? I think I sent it in the group chat in the pod.
Thought I sent it.
Well, I think you were late as usual. Like I'd sent it about 5 minutes, about 5 or 10 minutes before you decided that you wanted to send it.
Yeah, we don't know if it's real. We don't know if it's real, but it's not good if it is it?
No, it's not. It's not.
I'm going to have to find it now because you can't talk about that without showing it.
Well, okay. Well, look, I'll put up Bandy's message here, Bandy's comment. So all the else's hard work. Now look at the state we're in. Bandy, I'm always and always will be of the understanding that no matter how bad the results were prior to Bielsa getting sacked, I still feel he would have done a lot better with the remaining fixtures than Jesse Marsh did anyway. People will probably give me all sorts of grief for it, but that's always been my opinion. I think Bielsa getting sacked was the downfall. The board got lucky hiring Bielsa. He showed them how to run a football club, and then they sacked him, and they just went back to everything that they were doing before that didn't help at all. So yeah, I like Bandy. I agree with you there on that one, man. Yeah. So have you found that, Jay, or what's the crack?
I'm just loading it in, mate. Just loading it in.
Right. Fair enough. Oh yeah, that's sound.
Okay, we're good to go. I can show the tweet. Now, I'm just going to preface this by saying we don't know if this is real. We're not saying it is. We don't know. But
it was up on TalkSport today, yeah. So today, the account put, "Cannot believe you've got this so wrong, Andrea." Andrea replied, "I'm broken. I am responsible for this shit. Unacceptable. You don't deserve this. Ridiculous." Yeah, look, that's all good and well in hindsight saying that, but
cheers, mate.
At the end of the day, you had the ability to prevent this from happening, and it's difficult to kind of accept something like that when he said at the start of the season it was impossible that we could go down.
Yeah, Russ says it's real.
The person who posted it showed a screen recording of the previous messages from the DMs with Rads. Right, okay, so that is real. Right, okay, thanks for that, Russ.
Me. Just unbelievable. We've become a banter club.
Yeah, it seems
not
that
only
way.
that, the players will also see that because on social media, the players will see that.
Yeah, but you see, that's
be sat at home going, "This guy's a fucking idiot."
Well, look, at the end of the day as well, that's deflecting pressure away from the players, and it's taking the focus off them by Rads putting that out there again. Now, that's not necessarily a good thing either, because maybe the players need to understand that the pressure they're under is due to them because they've underperformed all season.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's right that Rads goes around doing stuff like that. He knows shit's going to be screenshot, and he knows everything's going to get out in the open, and it's a pure
PR, man.
Yeah, well, I think that is a PR thing, man, to take the focus off of the shit show that's on the pitch at the minute. Fuck
off. You're not telling me now our fearless, selfless leader is sacrificing himself for the players, are you?
Would anything surprise you with this club at this stage, Jake? Come on.
I'd be surprised at that, yeah. Sounds like he's rolling around in self-pity Well, he's like in his fucking pound coin swimming pool like Scrooge McDuck with his champagne and his fucking silk dressing gown on.
There's a
Victor
blast from the
outside
past.
with hot dogs.
Right, okay. Yeah, there's a lot of people confirming that, yeah. Bully B in the comments there says Marsh should have gone last summer. Yeah, shouldn't have even been given a second thought. Thanks for keeping us up off you, Pop. That should never have even happened. He shouldn't have even been given till the length of time he got. I think that's key to us being in the position we're in. That is key.
The whole issue is the board. The whole issue. The players might not be working hard enough. The manager's tactics might not be good enough. None of those people would be out there on that pitch if it weren't for the people who got in charge.
Yeah, I saw another tweet. Basically, it was someone, I can't remember who it was, but they said that Ayling was overheard saying to the players, "I just fuck off that lot."
Hang on. Russ is saying he said Grazio's gone.
Can't
reveal his source, but yeah, that's big.
Okay,
true.
All right, Russ, thanks very much for that, man. There was another tweet put out about the players going over to clap the away fans or whatever, and the fans were giving them grief, and apparently Ayling was overheard on TV just going fuck them off there and just walk away.
Who said that?
Apparently Ayling said that.
Fuck them off as in the fans?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. So one of the few people that we really love, even though he's fucked up loads recently.
Look, I can only say what I saw in the tweet. Now there is quite a few people in the replies confirming they heard it as well, but you don't know. But it's something to maybe have a look at. But there's a lot of negativity around the place at the moment, and I think it needs to be very much taken out the back and just done away with, because there's no unity in that dressing room at the moment. If there was unity in that dressing room, they'd be fighting like the likes of Forest and Leicester were.
Yeah.
I mean, even Southampton, they went ahead. They went ahead against Newcastle.
This is the thing, you know what I mean? And that was away as well, and you're kind of looking at it going, right, where's that? Just give us that. But it doesn't seem to be. It just doesn't seem to be coming around for us at the moment.
I just want to comment here for a second, Karl.
Go through a few there if you want, Jay. Yeah.
Karl Tanner, so he's from his name. We already know that he's wrong about stuff. Says, "Lol, we're still blaming Marsh." No, we're not blaming Marsh for the fact the club's fucked. We're blaming the board for hiring Marsh. We're blaming the board for not firing Marsh during the World Cup break.
Sooner.
We're not still talking about Jesse Marsh as in what's happened out there today is his fault. I need people to understand this.
But that's
all that. We're talking about the fact he should never have been here. The fact that fair enough, he got to go, but he should have gone when it was clear it wasn't working. And that's it. We're not saying that he's responsible for today.
Not by a long shot. That stems straight back to the board. There's no 2 ways about it. We can blame Marsh for all the tactical ineptness that he had and all that kind of thing, but at the end of the day, the board left him there far too long, and they've essentially sacrificed our Premier League survival on a coach that was totally out of his depth. And that's not slagging Marsh off. That's just being honest. He was way out of his depth. So the board should have taken responsibility and sacked him before the World Cup.
It's as simple as that. Very honestly, Karl, never have 3 men who I don't know's egos cost me so much.
We'll see what happens. You've got a few comments started there, have you?
I have, yeah. I'll run through a few. We've just got a couple of conflicting opinions here.
Okay.
Bully B says, he said, fuck him off.
Fuck him off, excuse me. Yeah, something to that. I was close enough. Something to that.
But Bandy says Luke Ayling would never say that about the fans, which is what I would like to believe. But if it's
I would as well
on TV,
maybe he just
hopefully
said,
maybe
he's just mad because sometimes you go over the top and you don't mean to say things. But
I'm hoping that when he said "fuck him off," he meant the board. Don't go talk to him, sort of thing.
Possibly because there was pictures of Victor Orta and Angus Kabir on the side. No, but they were on the sideline after the game, so it could have been anything to do with that or anything, But we'll see what happens anyway. I'm sure there'll be something that comes out of it at some point. Like,
I'll just fire through the rest of these.
Yeah, go for it, man.
So Russ Vernon says, Karl J. Mack, can you tell me where and when the next win is coming from? I think we can all say collective no to that one. Not a fucking clue.
I say Spurs.
Man City. Oh, God. Matt, I've got a ticket for that, mate. I'm going to be there to experience it all in glorious reality.
It might be 10.
It might be 10 fucking pints, mate.
I still think Spurs will be our 3 points that'll keep us up. But anyway, that's just me.
I hope so. Bill O says, still don't understand the logic of going from Bielsa to Marsh. A sensible club would have went and got a manager who had a similar style of play to Bielsa. Well, that's what they told us they'd done.
Well, like, he was meant to be the ideal candidate swap, wasn't he?
The natural successor.
The natural successor.
For 2 years.
2 years.
2 years.
I like, how have they not seen that he was definitely not the natural successor? Like, there's no way. There's no way they could have just.
I don't know.
But anyway.
I don't know.
Right.
Okay. I don't know.
Fair enough. Like,
Bully B
it's all gone Pete Tong.
It certainly has. Bully B says, don't forget the 49ers have overseen this shit show. Who's to say they'll be any better? Which is a fair point. They've been involved, but they've not got the controlling interest. Although it's often said that they have funded a lot of the recent signings. So they're probably as pissed off at Victor Orta as we are.
And if we get relegated, they essentially get a club for half the price. He stands to lose half of the value of the club if they get relegated. So
yeah, absolutely.
There is that.
And, while it's a good deal for him, I don't think they'd want us to go down. I genuinely do. I just don't see as an investment company. You make money if you go up, but surely a successful Premier League team makes more.
It does. It very much does. But
Chelsea are spending £1 billion on players, and they're not even successful.
Yeah, but like you said, Jay, man, the 49ers don't have a controlling stake in the club, and they'll always be overruled by the clowns that are already there. Like, so
absolutely. Let's get through these last ones.
What do you do? Yeah.
Coleslaw and toast. We need some experience in this squad. Bandy says, all Bielsa's hard work. Now look at the state we're in. Bully says, Bandy, Bielsa was the glue holding us together. They wanted him gone to take control back, and look how that's worked out. Liam B. They did, yeah. Liam B. Orta bought a player, Ruta, that wasn't ready for the Premiership. Absolutely. And Michael Brown says, recent recruits will leave the team. The players that are left, you keep bringing youthful, good standard Championship players. Burnley and Sheffield United have shown the example and returned back to the PL.
Just on that one, before you carry on, Burnley, half of their squad was loan players, so they don't actually own half of the squad that they got promoted with. So they're going to have to recruit quite heavily, like Nottingham Forest in the summer did.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so that's a swings and roundabouts moment there now for Burnley. Fair play to them for going up, but that half of that squad is on loan nearly. So
they'll probably buy a couple of them, but some of them will be prospects that ain't getting sold, won't they?
Yeah. So we gotta look at it that way as well. Carry on there, man. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I've got through them now, but I think I've got another one to pull up here if I can find it again. Graham Ratcliffe says the board got to sit up and think, what the fuck did we do getting rid of Bielsa? Should have given him money to buy players. I genuinely think it probably keeps them awake at night, sacking Bielsa.
I like that. That's a good comment, but I don't think it was a lack of giving him money to buy players. I think it was a lack of quality that Victor came to him with.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he always said that he only wanted players that were better than what we already had. Now, that might be a stick in the mud kind of stubborn way to look at it, but why would you bring in players to warm your bench who are only going to be as good as what you've already got? You want someone in there like Raf when he came in. He was that, he was that player that we needed to kind of take us to the next step. We didn't realise it at the time.
I would trust that man more than I would trust Orta to judge how good a player could and will be.
But this is the thing as well. Like, if it was a case where, yes, Orta was still there as director of football, but Bielsa went with a list of players that he felt were within budget that could improve the team, Why not do that instead of going, here's this player, no, I don't want him, he's not as good as what we have here. Because that's like, it wasn't that we were lacking in funds to pay for players. It was the fact that we were lacking in quality to provide to Bielsa for him to go, yeah, that's the one we want. There wasn't any of that, and I think the board have to take responsibility for that, because the quality just wasn't there.
Yeah, absolutely. Coleslaw's just tickled me with this one.
What's
Maybe next season we'll get a home fixture in the FA Cup.
No, that's definitely not happening. I don't think that'll ever work out for us. We're too profitable for clubs away, like, regardless of who it is.
So, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm just like, I still don't know what to make of Grazia and whether he's got what it takes to get us out of this. And with all these rumours he might be gone, what do you think the next step is? What do we do against City? Do we try a different system? Do we try the same thing and try and do it better? Do we put 10 men behind the ball? Do we play Robles?
I just think fucking hammer at them, because we've got absolutely nothing. Like, we know, like, I'm not saying, like, I hate the term free hit. You know that. I fucking hate it. Oh, it's a free hit.
Yeah,
we don't have time. We don't have time for free hits.
We're not in a position for that.
Yeah. What? Like, just go balls out. Have a good fucking go at City and see what can happen. Like,
yeah,
you know, maybe have 2 or 3 players man marking 2 or 3 particular players. Do it that way. Alter your style to isolate certain players that they have, to make it easier for us to potentially sneak a point. You know, something, just something. You know, like get De Bruyne man marked. Put someone in on top of him.
Yeah.
Man mark the shit out of him. Then, you know, you want the likes of Haaland man marked. You alter your system to understand where everyone's going to be if you're man marking a few players. Why can't we look at something like that? It's not a difficult thing for a UEFA or a UEFA Pro coach to do. You can look at tactics. You can understand where you can alter things. Why not do shit like that?
I don't know. And like, you've coached, so like, even like you from, like, I'm not saying this to be horrible. I mean, from the level you were at, I don't mean that in an insulting way, because you're much higher level than I ever got to, mate. But even from your level, like, do you watch stuff and think, why is he not changing that? How can he not? Like, why is that not something that's been done in training? Because me as a layman, I look at it and think, why the fuck aren't we fixing that? Is there more to it than that, or?
Well, I suppose it depends on what opponent you're preparing for and what you want to do about it. But he just seems to be very lackadaisy at the moment in relation to pushing forward. Like, you know, we saw Somerville kind of pressing the goalkeeper in the second half a little bit more to try and, you know, just take the attention off it, and it just doesn't seem to work. I don't know what it can be. Like the tactics that he's trying to play aren't difficult to implement, so I don't know where it's going wrong. Like, you played a 3-4-3 today. It's not a difficult thing to implement, so I don't know where things are going wrong there. Like, should we play a 3-1-3-1 or 3 or whatever the case may be? Like, you know what I mean? But like, we just don't have the players to play any sensible tactics at all. Yeah, I am, Bandy. Fucking drained, man.
We're all drained, Bandy. Fucking.
I'm trying to keep a positive spin on things, and it's just getting harder, pod after pod after pod. It's like, Christ on a bike.
It's
like,
hard, isn't it? It's hard.
Yeah.
It always seems to be us when it's a loss, Karl.
Well, like, I think we do a good grief cast anyway. It's not too bad. Like, you know,
yeah,
like,
I think we convey the feelings of the fans. We've both fucking had enough. So
we just look broken all the time whenever we're on this. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah. It's good.
Absolutely.
Is it any wonder we drink so goddamn much? Like, you know what I mean?
Jesus.
Cheers.
Did either of you guys think anyone did well today? Dare I say it? I felt like Harrison worked really hard today.
Yeah.
I think Somerville worked pretty hard, and Nonto did all right. Wasn't his best, but probably not fully sharp. I've been sat on his fucking ass for 2 weeks.
What do
you reckon, Matt?
I mean, Cooper, while he was on, he was good. and no one else really. Maybe Weber.
I was happy to see Weber come on, but I don't like it to be because of an injury, you know.
Oof. All right, go there. Russ is just putting out comment in there. Will you fire it up, please?
Yeah, I can do.
See
you
it
reading
there.
This one?
Leeds United Supporters Advisory Board issues statement of no confidence in Leeds United manager and board via Adam Pope. Right.
Fuck off.
Shit about to get real. Look, we could bleed on for hours and hours. I think Nanto had a better last 20 or 25 minutes than he did for the previous time.
Yeah.
I think Somerville showed that he's willing to track back. He did quite a bit of it today. I'm not saying there were blistering performances by either. But like you said, Nanto's been sitting on his arse for quite a while now, so it's difficult to get into the swing of things straight off the bat.
Yeah.
Matty, you were right there. Cooper, up until he went off injured, I thought he was playing very solid. We did look less panicky at the back when he was on. Now, that's just another thing. Less panicky doesn't mean any good, but we were definitely less panicky. Look, in midfield, look, we know the midfield centre mid is broken. We know it needs to get sorted out. So, look, let's just see what we can get. We can get against the next, was it 5 games. What about yourself, Jay? Now, you asked a question. What do you think? Who do you kind of put it on? Who would you give in your man of the match to, from just a Leeds point perspective? Forget
my man
Bournemouth.
of the match.
Yeah, from a Leeds perspective.
Probably Harrison.
Right.
I thought he worked pretty hard.
Right. Okay.
I don't think anyone covered themselves in glory. Just he worked hard. I think had Forshaw played the whole game, he might have got it because he looked great when he came on. And he did that thing he does where he holds a man off and he turns and he makes space. He did that a few times. He did it with like 3 of them around him at one point.
Yeah.
And he still came out with the ball. There's none of that with some of the guys who are playing at the moment. McKennie and Rocker just don't seem to have any of that in them.
Yeah, it's a bit of grit, a bit of fight in them, isn't it?
It's time to dig in now. It's not time to be fancy. We need players that can fight on that field. We've got our creative outlets ready to fucking off they go down the wings for a break. So we could play in a way where we could defend solidly and just set one of these guys off, and we could do that to teams, and we're not.
Yeah,
well, if we're going to get anything out of these remaining games, they're going to have to find a way to work their strengths.
Yeah, just this one here from Karl Tanner. Somerville did too much Aronson diving for me. I can see where you're coming from, but I think when Somerville was going down quite like Aronson, I think there was more. He'd actually done a lot more to get into positions of more difficulty than Aronson was doing to just hit the deck. Like there was one where he was coming through on the edge of the box and he'd gotten the touch and the referee had not given the foul when your man had played the ball behind him. It was right on the edge of the box. I don't think he took a dive in that scenario. I think that was a case of he'd got the touch, he'd felt the touch. Any player would go down, but the ref looked because of Somerville's foot being here and the defender's foot coming here, because Somerville had clipped the ball first and the defender had clipped his foot. It looked like the defender got the ball. Yeah. It looked like the defender had caught the ball from the referee's angle.
No contact.
Yeah.
Bullshit. There were contact.
Yeah, but like you can understand from the referee's point of view as well, the way he was looking at it, it maybe looked like the defender got a touch on the ball, but he didn't.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. No, I get that. So, the thing is, like, even if it were just a slight touch, why not go down? Because how many times have we said on this podcast, he should have gone down and he got a penalty, should have gone down and he got a free kick, and our players don't because they carry on trying to keep playing.
Look at Madison on Tuesday night.
Yeah,
every time he was touched.
Fuck him.
Every time he was touched, he was on the deck. He spent more time on the ground than I genuinely don't know what. Like, but it was ridiculous. Exactly. So, look, it is essentially squeaky bum time now. Not going to lie.
It is.
Not going to lie. So you've got another couple of comments there that you maybe want to fire through, Jay. And
I have, mate. Yeah, I have. Yeah. Just a quick one here. Skip sorted. Gonna go drown my sorrows with Rubber Julie and Easy Brenda from Winston's.
Go on, Skip. Can
Easy
we?
Brenda. I like that.
Yeah, we're not providing the postcode or address again this time. So.
We are not. No. Karl's loyalty card. D. Turley says, Orta spent years signing wingers and hired a manager who was allergic to width. This club is so badly run, it's almost comical. And that is a great point. And I'm rifling through these, but I am just going to say this.
No, just do it, Jim.
The guy who's in charge of finding the players tells us he has researched this manager for 2 years. In these 2 years, he continues to sign wingers. Not bothered about midfielders. And then he brings that guy in after, we've got 2 midfielders now. It's sorted. Fuck off, Orta. Fuck off.
Just before you go on to the next one, just before you go on to the next comment, Jay,
I'm getting mad again now, Karl.
On that note, on that note, right, for years and years in the Championship, all we wanted was wingers. Now we've got so many wingers, we hired a Banjaks manager who only plays narrow. And it's like, where's the fucking logic? You know what I mean? It's like,
I can't wait for Costa to come back.
Oh, fuck! Here, I'm going to end this if you're going to start talking shite like that. Anyway, go on.
Bully's arguing with Karl Tanner about Bielsa and Marsh. Says 4 months for that win under Marsh. You don't stay up when you don't win for 4 months. Can't argue with that, can you?
No, not really.
Russ Vernon, not one of our players has apologised to the fans on social media today. Disgraceful. The Ruta acquisition from Tom Rodgers seems inexplicable, but he hasn't been given a full chance. He did put in an encouraging performance against Fulham in the Cup. I'd start him over Paddy now because I'd rather take a gamble than continue with something that I know doesn't work.
Yeah, I can see that point as well. But if you're going to drop Paddy, you have to put Rod in there.
Do you?
You know what I mean? Top scorer. It's not like he's been shit this season, and we've got more out of him this season than we have previous ones.
I'd sooner see two up top and have Ruta and Rod. And
just go old fashioned 4-4-2. Don't beat around the bush. Just 4-4-2 it.
Yeah.
And just play the 2 centre forwards as 2 annoying fuckers splitting each defender, each centre back, and occupying space in the middle.
It's not hard. Wide. Defend, break, shit house wins.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
It's all we all want, Jay, man.
We do. Andy Aylor says, should have sacked Victor, not Bielsa. Can't argue with that. Bully says, open your eyes. They wanted him gone because they didn't want to buy a new squad, which he said he needed.
Yep.
Which I don't like to sort of compare us to scum, but we were kind of at that same point where they were when that horrible red-nosed Scottish bastard recycled them and he rebuilt them, didn't he? And he built a whole new team, and we were at that part of our cycle.
We love Scottish people on this pod, by the way. Don't fucking mind them.
No, I'm only talking about that one specific one. But we were at that same cycle with our squad, and we didn't do the rebuild like that. We didn't do what needed to be done. We stuck with too many players that had already given all that they had.
Yeah. Look, we'll been on for an hour and 10 minutes. Go for it there, yeah?
It's Karl Tanner said, why do we always look worse? Can't speak. After half time than before. Not a clue, mate, but something's fucking broke.
It's the same as when we play well for the first 20 minutes and then just fall to shit. Once we don't convert a couple of chances, it just seems we just fall apart. Yeah. Same thing. I think it's the same mentality, you know. But
yeah, it is. Something needs to change against City, and even though we're going to probably get fucked, I want to see some fight. I want to see him at least try. That's it for me now. Yeah. For the rest of the season, I want to see fight, regardless of what happens.
It's only a couple of games left, man. If they can't fight for a couple of games, then they're not worth the wage that they're getting. So
set them all on fire.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And on that note, if you're new to the podcast, Jay's not usually a pyromaniac, but do like and subscribe and hit the old bell so that you get the old notifications when we've got pods going on. We have another main pod on Tuesday night at 8:30. I'm not quite sure who's on, but you'll probably see a couple of our faces if you're regular, and if you're new, tune in. And thanks for tuning in tonight. Look, we go on to City next week.
Yay!
Jay, friends. Jay, enjoy that, man. I was there for the 7-0 mauling.
So was I in the home end.
Well, that's just your shit out of luck right there, really, aren't you? You had 2 kicks in the stone sandwich.
I love
it. But Matty, thanks for joining us again all the way from Australia, boy. Good to see you. Hopefully we can get John under happier times next time, all right?
Yeah.
We'll try our best.
We'll try our best.
And also, before we go, don't forget to contribute to the lads who are doing the charity fundraising walk for the end of the season. I think that's still live, so Gilly's killing himself. Getting blisters.
Yeah, we're doing 400 miles each. Myself.
Karl's never looked so thin.
Jesus, I tell you what, I was trying to put on a bit of weight there for a while, and then I stupidly signed up for this thing, and it's like, nah, the waste of time the last 4 or 5 months. But anyway, no harm. The Just Giving page is on the pod account. It's we'll put a link in the bio in the description here as well. And if you can't donate, please just share the link so that it can just spread the word. Like, we understand times are tough.
Absolutely, and that's what it's all about: helping each other out. It's what Leeds fans do.
Absolutely. Jay,
right, Karl,
I'll leave it to you.
Good man. Goodbye.
Take care. See you, mate.